Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Lance Buffet, and today I'm going to be breaking down Jacob Overbeck's newest short film, Under a White Sky. If you don't already know, Under a White Sky is Jacob's fourth short film, and I'm going to be breaking it down for you, alright? Getting all those hidden meanings, getting all those Easter eggs, and answering some of those really big questions that the short leaves you with, like, who is the narrator? What did all those objects mean? And why does that chair look so comfortable? I'm just kidding, but before we get started today, guys, make sure you hit that like button, hit subscribe, ring the bell, and if you really liked it, recommend it to a friend, alright? It really helps the channel grow. Other than that, guys, let's just dive right into this.
An empty trash can, its contents long removed. A chair seemingly unfazed by the day's events. A pile of shoes in various states of wear. A desk warped from the weight of something heavy. An empty calendar. A blank whiteboard whose writing, the words only existing long enough to leave their mark and disappear, but never truly erased. All these things on their own are meaningless, but together the story they tell can only be told underneath the white sky.
So the first thing we see when the short opens up is the titular white sky. Now we don't know what it is right now, but stick a pin in it. It's an important detail that I'll get back to in just a minute. Next, we see an empty trash can along with a couch, a pile of shoes, a table, a calendar, and an empty whiteboard. Now, for the most part, all of these items do have a deeper significant meaning. However, I think the table was just added in as just a filler item. As far as the other objects though, I definitely know they have a hidden meaning to them, and I promise I'll get into those in just a moment. And lastly, we see the white sky again, and it was at this point when I realized that we were looking at the ceiling of the room. The piece is about what a room can tell you about its inhabitant. We even hear this directly from the narrator with this line.
Together the story they tell can only be told underneath the white sky.
And that begs the question, what are these objects trying to tell us? Well, here's what I gleaned. I think the objects here are trying to tell us about someone who isn't in the room a lot. We see this directly with the trash can and how it's empty. Now, if someone was spending, a lot of time in their room, they would definitely have some trash accumulated in that trash can, or at least a bag to signify that they had recently emptied it. And again, we see this with the chair. It's undisturbed. Surely someone who's spending time in their room would sit in their chair to, say, read. But what we do know is when this person is home, they spend a lot of time at their whiteboard, which we hear directly in this line.
A blank whiteboard whose writing, the words only existing long enough to leave their mark and disappear, but never truly erased.
If something's only there long enough to leave their mark, then surely it's erased really quickly. So we know what the objects are trying to tell us, but I can't help but wonder, who's the narrator of the story? I mean, I don't believe it's the person who lives in this place, as if they're constantly gone, would they even notice all these tiny details? I know for certain that the narrator of this story is actually the white sky itself. Think about it like this. A ceiling is the first and last thing we see when we enter a room, but also its locked position would mean it would have nothing better to do all day than stare and notice these tiny details. But knowing who the narrator is leaves me with one more question to answer. Where does the guy living here go? I mean, he's not going to work, and he's definitely not going to any events, as we see from his empty calendar, and surely the ceiling would probably know, right? Well, I think it does, and there's definitely a deeper story going on here, so buckle up, because we're gonna dive right into it. My first theory was that he was going to work, but as we saw from the calendar, it doesn't really seem to fit like that. And I was able to confirm this by taking a closer look at the shoe pile. You see, the way that they're stacked tells us an interesting story. He's got a pair of sneakers on top of what look like work shoes, so that means that he's probably going out more often than he's working. So, now what? Well, I can't figure it out right now. I mean, the clues are there. There's definitely something there. Here, I'll be right back, and I'll go figure it out. You just stay right there, and I will be right back. Okay? You don't go anywhere. You wouldn't be here without me. You know that, right? You know the main character of Wander? You know what his name is? It's Eric. Would have never known that without me, huh? You have the gall, the audacity to think that... You think I don't know what's going on here, don't you? You don't. You think old Lance Buffet's finally lost his touch. He can't figure it out, can he? Well, I have. Look right there. Right there. You see that? 1 minute and 45 seconds. Our elusive mystery man finally shows himself. I knew he was there. I always knew he was there. There's always something more. And you didn't believe me. You should have, because I was right. I spent 2.5 hours staring at popcorn ceiling to find the hidden subtext, the deeper meaning between each individual frame of this piece. And I found him. I have spent so much time and effort in this idea that I have to be right. I need to be right. Because if I'm not right, then what's the point?